now
I said I'm a conversationalist. But what people are upset about is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notions, and they open up to me.
Right.
That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay.
Shannon Sharpe, a famous former NFL player who is now a media personality, knows what it's like to be famous and get a lot of attention. His podcast, Club Shay, has become very famous, especially since a video of him doing rec was put on YouTube. Not only did this interview change how business conflicts are talked about in public, it was also a big turning point in the history of the podcast. Shannon recently said in an interview that many famous people are trying to get his show canceled and hurt his reputation, which has gotten him a lot of bad press in the entertainment business.
I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along.
As things got worse, threats were made, and some guests who had planned to be on his show suddenly pulled out. Some say Shannon's safety may be in danger because of how strong this wave of hate has become. Shannon talked about his unique way of making his guests feel at ease and ready to tell their stories without holding back during an open discussion with Cam Newton.
I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guests that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate it if we not talk about this.
Right.
Cool, no problem. Because I believe you can tell your story without saying something negative. But yes, I believe a person that's been in a business, that's been doing something 10, 15, 20, 30 years are more than one salacious story.
Right.
That's what I believe. So if they say they want to stay away from it, but if they want to tell something, who am I to say, no, I don't do, you can't tell that.
He made it clear that he is not a reporter, but rather a speaker who wants to create a safe space for honest conversations.
Do sit downs, you see what I'm saying?
Kim, I've been trying to line Katt up for a year. I tried to line him up for a year. People don't know this, but Katt doesn't like to fly. I'm getting off the elevator. As I'm getting off the elevator, a lady's getting on.
Right.
She said, hello. I said, hey, how you doing? I'm Shannon Sharpe. She tells me her name. She's like, I've never seen you here before. I said, yeah, my attorney's here, Marvin. She said, oh, I love Marvin. I love Allison, who's his daughter. She said, oh, I said, I've never seen you here. I said, I've been coming here 3-4 years. I've never seen you. She said, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just not meeting you. She said, today is my last day. I said, what? She said, yeah, today is my last day. I said, you got a new job? She said, I'm leaving to be Katt Williams tour manager.
Wow.
I said, I've been trying to get Katt for a year. That was a Friday. The next Friday, Katt sitting in that chair.
Look at God.
The next Friday.
In addition to changing jobs, Shannon's move from sports to media gave him a new avenue for influence and audience connection. His podcast, which has featured a number of famous speakers, has become a major forum for discussion in the Black entertainment community. Despite the controversy, Shannon is steadfast in her commitment to upholding a real place for dialogue.
People heard about it, but when Katt came on and did what he did, now you had no choice. Advertisers, sponsors had to take Club Shay Shay serious.
Right.
People that did, he just this, he's a dumb jock, he talked with a lisp. Well, that dumb jock that talked with a lisp has the #1 podcast on YouTube. Not sports podcast, Cam. #1.
Tension escalated after Katt Williams' explosive interview in which Katt voiced his opinions about other celebrities without holding back, especially his harsh criticisms of Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart. These statements have not only sparked more debate within the industry, but have also drawn direct criticism towards Shannon's platform. The debut of Katt Williams on Club Shay Shay was not merely.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Well-known figures such as Steve Harvey and DL Hooey have shared their dissatisfaction, which some feel is due to the podcast's focus on difficult realities.
Katt told every goddamn hour, everything. He told so much, Jada Pinkett went, why you telling so goddamn much? What am I gonna say now? At least nobody had alopecia, so. Well, Shay Shay getting messy as hell. Shannon Sharpe is like Wendy Williams with a weight center.
Despite these obstacles, Shannon is moving on, demonstrating his fortitude and dedication to his goal for the Club of Shay. He hopes to keep the podcast as a vital forum for open dialogue despite outside influences and the unpredictability of the industry. The media landscape continues to put Shannon Sharpe's resolve to the test as his podcast Club Shay stays a central figure in ongoing celebrity disputes. Shannon Sharpe's journey through the media landscape is a testament to his adaptability and drive to foster open dialogue, making Club Shay a beacon for those looking to express and debate their truths in the entertainment world.
But Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. And some of the comedians had taken shots at other comedians, but nothing like this. I didn't expect the vitriol to come, especially from some of the people. And I'm not gonna say we were friends, but I'm saying we were cordial, we were friendly towards each other. Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, I wouldn't.
Shannon is negotiating a tough road following his historic interview with Katt Williams, which broke records and caused a lot of industry anger. Inspired by Katt's biting comments during that infamous podcast session, Harvey decided to take the high road and address the issue by appearing on Jamie Foxx's satellite radio show. Steve mentioned a proverb his grandfather had shared, which suggests that criticism is only directed at moving targets. This suggested that Katt's attacks were a sign of Shannon's success.
It's just on my mind. My closing remarks are going to be seem a little discombobulated, but I haven't really had time to put it together. It's just some thoughts that I've been having. I want to address what's being labeled as comedy beefs. Y'all, comedy was never designed to be this. Comedy is a great art form. It's always been for the best stand-ups to come into people's lives, homes, theaters, and provide just as hard a laughs as we possibly could. As a stand-up, has always been my only goal. This thing that's going around now about comedy beefs, it's only coming really from a few people. It's really not the overall thing. 85 South ain't beefing with nobody. And those are the youngest comedic giants out there. 85 South ain't beefing with nobody. You know, them cats come from the hip hop culture. What you're seeing, man, in these comedy beefs are people who aren't where they used to be. And all of a sudden are using this thing called comedy beefs as a way to get some light shined on them. That's not what comedy is, man. It's just not. I'm going to tell you something. Now, I'm not saying any names, but let me explain something.
However, this reply seemed to confirm Katt's claim that Steve wouldn't say goodbye in a plain humorous.
Matter of fact, the whole phrase, king of comedy, can be attributed to you. And I'm honored that you would allow me to share the same stage as you. And I don't know why people made this a championship bout. And I don't know why you was okay with that. And I want to apologize for what's going to happen.
Who is?
But the second that you get on stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy.
Without mentioning names, Steve stated his displeasure on his radio program, and it's believed that he's been working behind the scenes to discourage celebs from participating in Shannon's podcast. Another prominent figure in the industry who is reportedly annoyed with Shannon is Miss O. Her unhappiness is a result of Shannon's interview with Monique, in which she publicly chastised Miss O for her deceptive tactics and for effectively shutting down her career by refusing to take part in an unpaid promotional tour for the film Precious.
Then Felita called me back and say, "Baby girl, they said you're too difficult to work with." But you hear on the audio that a man told David Talbert I was difficult to work with. Do you see how that cost my family?
Yes.
And with no accountability.
Despite these obstacles, Shannon is moving on, demonstrating his fortitude and dedication to his goal for the Club of Shay. He hopes to keep the podcast as a vital forum for open dialogue despite outside influences and the unpredictability of the industry. The media landscape continues to put Shannon Sharpe's resolve to the test as his podcast Club Shay stays a central figure in ongoing celebrity Though the growing industry backlash and personal attacks, including a suspected targeted robbery at his home, highlight the potential risks Shannon faces in such a volatile environment, the ongoing story around Club Shannon continues to connect with a sizable audience. Shay questions the viability of truth-telling and serves as a sobering reminder of the complex power dynamics within the entertainment business. Venues in the face of strong public criticism as Shannon navigates these turbulent waters, her situation raises more questions about the role media figures play in questioning the status quo and the dangers they take in revealing hard truths. What Waters does next will be critical to the success of his podcast and his place in the wider media ecosystem.